This is the story of Dr. Zhivago. It is more than just the life of one man. It is the journey of an entire generation who lived through war, revolution, hunger, and heartbreak. It is about Yuri Zhivago, man who is both a doctor and a poet. He healed people with medicine, and he touched souls with his words. It is about how he was torn between two women, one who gave him stability and family, and another who gave him passion and freedom. It is a story of choices, destiny, and love that refuse to die, even in the face of suffering. Let's begin. The boy who watched too much penury. Zhivago was a boy when he first learned about loss. His father, a careless man, abandoned the family. His mother soon passed away, leaving Yuri an orphan at a young age. At her funeral, the boy stood quietly, watching the coffin being lowered into the earth. Life already seemed cruel to him, but inside, he carried a sensitive heart, always searching for meaning. He was taken in by kind relatives who gave him a home. They supported his education, and Yuri grew into a thoughtful, gentle young man. He studied medicine because he wanted to heal suffering, but at night when the world was quiet, he wrote poems. Words became his second life. A world on the edge the time Yuri lived in was filled with storms. Russia was breaking apart. The First World War had begun. And after that came the Russian Revolution. The streets of Moscow were filled with fear and protests. Soldiers marched and people shouted slogans. Food became scarce. Neighbors turned against neighbors. Life felt uncertain, as if the entire world could collapse in a single night. In the middle of this chaos, Yuri still tried to live a normal life. He became a doctor, married his childhood friend Tanya, and had a child. He wanted peace and stability, but fate had other plans. Lara's struggles far away, another young soul was also fighting against destiny. Her name was Lara. Lara had been manipulated by an older man who tried to control her. She was brave, but life had scarred her. She wanted dignity, freedom, and respect. Eventually, she married a man named Pasha, who later became a revolutionary fighter. When the war began, Lara trained as a nurse. She believed she could help the wounded. She carried kindness in her heart even when surrounded by violence, and this is how fate decided to bring Yuri and Lara together, meeting in the hospital during the war. Yuri and Lara worked in the same hospital. He was a doctor. She was a nurse. Day after day, they treated wounded soldiers. Blood, screams, and death surrounded them. But in those dark nights, they also found comfort in each other's company. Yuri admired Lara's courage. She was strong, yet gentle. Lara admired Yuri's intelligence and his kindness. Slowly, without words, a bond grew between them. Both of them were married. Both of them knew this was dangerous. But the heart doesn't follow rules, a forbidden flame. When Yuri looked at Tanya, he saw safety. She was loyal, warm, and deeply caring. She was like a quiet home where nothing could disturb him, but when he looked at Lara, he felt fire. With her, he felt alive, inspired, free. She awakened the poet in him. It was a forbidden love, two married people drawn together by destiny. They tried to resist it, but their feelings grew stronger each day. Revolution breaks. Everything Russia was collapsing. The revolutionaries were taking power. Old rulers were killed or exiled. Yuri and his family decided to leave Moscow and move to the countryside. They hoped to escape the violence. In the small town where they settled, life was hard, food was scarce, and winters were brutal, but fate worked strangely. Lara was also living nearby with her daughter. When Yuri saw her again, the old feelings returned. Their love, which had been hidden, now burned brighter than ever. Torn between two worlds, Yuri now lived in two realities. With Tanya and his child, he had duty, loyalty, and responsibility. They depended on him. They represented his past and the promise he had made. With Lara, he had passion and poetry. She represented freedom, inspiration, and the part of him that longed to live beyond rules. He was torn apart. No matter what choice he made, someone would suffer. Captured by the revolution one day, soldiers came. They captured Yuri, and forced him to serve as a doctor for their revolutionary army. For years, he was dragged from place to place. He healed soldiers, but inside he was broken. He missed his family. He missed Lara. He missed the quiet life he dreamed of. He often thought of writing poetry. But the sound of guns drowned out his thoughts. Escape and reunion at last. Yuri escaped. After many hardships, he returned to the countryside. There, like a miracle, he found Lara again. For a brief moment, life gave him happiness. They lived together, shared dreams, and loved each other openly. It was not forever, but in those days they felt alive. They dreamed of a future where peace would come. They could raise their children without fear. Fate strikes again, but fate was cruel. The authorities hunted anyone who was not fully loyal to the new government. Lara was in danger. One day, she disappeared. Some say she was arrested. Some say she was sent far away. No one knew for certain. Yuri never saw her again. He was left with nothing but memories, and the pain of love that was never allowed to last. The final years Yuri returned to Moscow, but life there was empty. He was poor, often sick, and always tired. He carried inside him the weight of two lives, his loyalty to Tanya, his love for Lara. He wrote poems about her, pouring his heart into words. His verses became his way of keeping her alive. One day, while walking in the streets, Yuri suffered a heart attack. He fell and died suddenly. The world barely noticed, but his poetry survived, and through those poems, his love for Lara lived on. Dr. Zhivago is a story of love and survival during a time of chaos. It shows how even when war and revolution destroy everything, love can still burn brightly. Yuri's life ended in sadness, but his spirit lived on in his poetry. His love for Lara could not be erased by time, by distance, or even by death. It reminds us that love is eternal. Even when people are separated, their memories and emotions live on forever. This is the story of a man who tried to heal the world, who loved deeply, and who left behind words that would never die. Asterisk, thanks for watching. If you really liked the story, please do like, share, subscribe, comment. On my channel, World Stories. See you on the next video.